Hello everyone, this is Christopher Main, programmer for VerticalThird. In this video, we're going to explore the ways you can set up a player action kit in VerticalThird. To follow along, you can open up the level example game map and head to the character spawn area. An action kit is a predefined list of actions that get loaded on the player's action bar. Let's create a new folder and name it database_new game. Note that there are different videos in the description that go over the action chain system and action singles. AI action kits are different than players, and they also have their own video in the description. In this video, we will create an action kit for a player using predefined actions from the database. There are 3 ways to set up or change a player's action kit. You can create a template character and set that on the spawn option in the world settings. You can change your action kit when you equip an item. Or you can create a walkover pickup loot item that will also change your action kit. Let's start by opening the window menu at the top and click on World Settings. We'll want to keep this window open for later. If we hover over to the default pawn class, we can click the magnifying glass to pop to it. All of these are templates, and you can select one and drag and drop it to our new game folder. You may need to resize your content browser so you can actually see your folder. Now we can drag and drop and click copy. Now let's click on a new game folder and rename this. We will keep it simple and do character, player, new. Now let's copy an action kit to work with. Click on the database folder and search for example kit direct. We will drag and drop the direct target kit into our new game folder and click copy. Click on a new game folder, you can clear the search text, and we will rename this. Keeping it simple again, we'll name it kit_player_new. Now we'll open up our character blueprint. You might need to resize the window or adjust the sizing on some of the panels. We will scroll down the component list and select on the Action Manager. Now in the Details panel, we'll search Kit. We will drag and drop our Kit Player New into the top slot. We can click Compile, Save, and close this window. Now if we make sure we click on World Settings, we can click and drag our character to the default pawn. If you hover your mouse over the drop-down menu, you can see the actual file name matches our blueprint character. Whenever you make changes to the world settings, I always suggest you click Save All afterwards. I collapsed some of the folders and resized the content browser. Now I can verify our play settings by going to the 3 dots by the play button. Make sure that new editor window is checked, and if we go into advanced settings, make sure that always on top is checked. Now we can click play. Here you'll see at the very bottom bar that our action kit has loaded. It is the example display direct target action kit. This includes some healing spells, some direct target damage, and some melee attacks. Now we can close the window out. You can use the middle mouse button or the Windows key to unlock the mouse. The next step involves equipment, so we'll need a world loot spawner. In this example game, there are 4 starter weapons: an orb healing, an orb damage, a sword, and a shield. We will click on the one that's orb damage. It's labeled in the outliner in the top right, but it also has a data table showing orb damage in the bottom right. We can hit Ctrl D to duplicate and drag it over to our spawn area. We'll duplicate it once more because we're going to create a new item that loads the action kit. Equipment have the option to load single actions or load an entire action kit. The original starter weapons will only load action singles. If we click on the left spawner we duplicated, and then click on the magnifying glass where the data table is located, it will select the file in blue in the content browser. You may need to scroll down to be able to see it. Let's expand the size of our content browser so we can drag and drop it into our new game folder, and then click copy. We can resize our content browser back down. Then we can rename this as weapon_new. Let's click on our left loot spawner and then drag our weapon_new data table into the slot of the details panel. Now we can double click the weapon and open it up. There's a full loot documentation video on all the options listed here. Just for quick example purposes, we will change the name of the item and the loot ID. Now we can scroll down to the equipment section. You'll notice that there is an actions to change section. As mentioned earlier, this is how you set up specific action single changes. We're going to click the trash can to clear all of these. Now we'll go to the action kit slot. We can search for kit, example, beam. And in this case, it's the bottom one on the list. We can save and close this window. Now we can click play again and see the difference. You can see my template character is still loaded with the default action kit. If I pick up the starter weapon on the right, when I equip this item, the action singles are replaced in my current action kit. If I unequip the item, it resets the default. Now if I pick up our new item and equip it, our whole action kit will change. We will be able to use our actions as you would expect. This is a beam kit and has several beam actions to use. And we can unequip it to reset our action kit to default. Now we can click stop. Now we have to copy two more files. We need to create a walkover pickup item that will be spawned from a world loot spawner. If we click on the database folder and search for loot pickup kit, we can select the one that says loot pickup kit change AoE. We will copy this to our new game folder. This type of loot will trigger an action to spawn that can change your statistics. So now we're going to copy the action pickup kit change AoE. We'll go back to our new game folder and clear the search text. Let's rename these files. We will remove the AoE and type in new for both of these files. Now let's duplicate another spawner. We can select the left one and hit Ctrl D and move it into the center. We will drag and drop our loot pickup kit change new into the data table slot of this spawner. If we open up the action kit change, we can go to the statistics section and expand all the options. If you look at the value, it'll be set to form change. Then if you scroll down further and expand the form change category, you'll see that kit change is enabled, and the kit that we have selected is Kit Example Display AOE. We can close this window up now. Now we need to open up our loot pickup kit change. Double click to open. We can scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll find a loot action, the actions to spawn category. You can resize your window if you need to, and drag and drop our new action pickup into this slot. And then we can save and close this window. To walk through this, the world spawner will spawn the action kit change pickup item. The pickup item is not loot based and will spawn an action instead. The action is a direct target with the self as target. The action has a statistic change using the form change value. The form change value will change your action kit. Now we can click play and do a full review. We can maximize the window for this case. We created a new blueprint character and copied an action kit, then set it into the default settings for world settings. When a player joins the world, they will have this action kit. Equipment can change single actions that overwrite those specific slots. When you unequip it, it will go back to normal. You can have equipment reload your entire action kit when equipped. Once again, when you unequip it, it'll go back to default. Finally, you can have a walkover pickup or interact to pickup loot that will spawn an action that will change your action kit. If you notice, there's no way to undo this at this point. So keep this in mind when you're designing your loot. You may need to have the default kit available as a loot as well. This concludes our exploration on the player action kit setup. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to us through one of our social media channels or on our Discord server.